Thank you so much for clicking on the Justin Root Show. I can already see the comments right now. Why didn't you talk about this? Why didn't you mention that? Why didn't you talk about this? I'm just going to say right off the bat, I am so overwhelmed to have my guest today. Because if you ever watch this show, you know I love pop culture. And my guest today has the most incredible amount of pop culture moments and so many things. I'm already overwhelmed. Please say hello to Julie Brown.
Hi.
Miss Julie Brown.
Hi,
It's
how
so
are
nice
you?
to meet you.
That's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
It's very rare that I shouldn't say very rare, but I haven't had that many guests on who I haven't met before. So
I know. We haven't met.
And I think we've been Facebook friends for a while. I don't even
Probably.
know if
You know what? I don't.
you have a ton.
Yeah, and the thing is, because Facebook is just too much.
Yeah.
So I don't really read a lot on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I just
you like to post your stuff and
then move on, because
exactly.
then like you get it's so emotionally involving. It's too much. As soon as you read it, you're like, I'm worried about someone's cat or there's something.
Yeah.
And right.
Exactly.
Too codependent for Facebook.
I love that you went to the innocence of cat. I was going to go to politics, but you know.
It's too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this won't be too much.
No, this will be wonderful. I can already tell.
I love it. Well, actress, director, producer, singer. I mean, how many hats do you wear? So many.
I know. Sometimes I just do the next thing. Then when I think back on it, I go, God, that's why I'm tired sometimes, because it's so much stuff. You know what I mean? And I've never really stopped until about like 5 years ago. I sort of flipped out. And then I quit for a little while, but not very long, but just for a little bit, where I went, I have to stop all this, because it was, I think I was just really overwhelmed, and I was working on a show that I did not like, and it was so depressing that it just was too much for me. So.
And is this the first time in your career that this
Yeah.
I quit moment happened?
The breakdown.
That's rare for, I mean,
no, it's not exactly.
For a long time.
I know, it's not exactly, but it kind of, because it was more severe. Okay. After I did strip mall,
Yeah.
After I did that was so exhausting, and I was like, I can't work for a little while. So that was, but I didn't feel that bad. I was just tired. Okay. This time I was like, I can't handle people. And then I just thought, I'm just going to do things I like to do and not do things that are jobs. So I could just do what I wanted. Right. Nice. And so I did, and it was pretty incredible.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I love to talk about beginnings.
Yeah.
California girl, right? Van Nuys?
Van Nuys, yes.
I mean, what a rarity.
I know, because like Van Nuys High, there's all these celebrities that went there.
Who? Names?
Robert Redford, Marilyn Monroe, Paula Abdul. There's more. I just can't.
Any in your era, like your class, the 4 years you were there? Anyone?
Yes, before me.
No. Anyone
in my era. I thought you were saying, no, not the same age as Robert Redford. Please. No, not in my class.
Really?
No,
that's a cool badge.
Yeah. So, but it was weird though when I went back to like one of the reunions, and I think it was right when I was on MTV. People just wanted to talk about MTV, and you're going, I'm just here to see the people, that I knew from high school.
I still see Jeanette from the cafeteria.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or the guy I had a crush on, or, so I didn't like being that.
Really?
Then. No, I didn't. Because it made me feel really separate. But I've since gone back to reunions, and I don't care anymore. Okay. And they were a blast. Okay. So,
So not this, like, girl growing up, like, I'm going to be a star, and I'm
not really. I mean, I was always in plays. I did, in Catholic school, I wrote a play about the Virgin Mary, and in 5th grade, and I was going to direct it, and this girl was playing the Virgin Mary, and she was so terrible that I fired her. And then I go, I'm just going to have to do this part. So I'm like, that's so weird for a 10-year-old, right? And then I did the part, because she is not getting it. Wow. So I've always kind of done that, but I didn't know that it was going to lead to something.
Well, what was family life like then? Parents, were they in the business?
My father is. My parents met at NBC. They actually both worked at NBC. And my father was an executive in the sort of technical end. He was kind of a mess, but I was around it, and like all my relatives are in show business somehow. Like my great-grandfather, his name's Frank O'Connor, and he was in Citizen Kane, and he plays the juror in Reefer Madness, the lead juror, and he's in Grapes of Wrath, he's in all these movies. Like, you know the Citizen Kane, the picture where he's on the stage? My grandfather's standing right next to him.
Are you
Isn't that crazy?
serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my other grandfathers were film editors. So everybody's peripherally was in show business.
This is your DNA. It's in your blood.
I think,
then.
yeah, it is. Exactly.
And there was no part of you that was like rebellious against it? You were just like, I want to do this.
I wanted to do it. My parents were kind of like, well, you can't really do it when you grow up because they'd grown up in the Valley, that's weird. And they said everybody they knew who went into show business was a drug addict. So I couldn't do it because I guess I'd be a drug addict. So
wow.
They sort of said you can't do it. And that maybe that made me do it. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't think it did. I think I've just been so drawn to it. You know?
And who outside of family? Was anyone inspiring you? Like, were you seeing things on film and TV that you're like, I love her. Or
I loved
have
Julie Andrews so much. I remember seeing Anne Margaret and just thinking, my mind was kind of blown because she acted so sexy and she was really outrageous, right? Mm-hmm. And I just felt like, okay, I get this. I get the magic of this. I guess those few people I loved. And Lily Tomlin.
Who we're going to have to talk about because
I know.
She kind of discovered you,
She kind of did, yeah. Like when I was in acting school, I was in acting school in San Francisco, American Conservatory Theater. And then my writing partner and I wrote a show before we even graduated that was completely a comedy show. And it was really a big hit. And then we got booked in nightclubs. And so she's been such my hero that when she was in town performing, I called her manager and invited her to my show, and she came. And I mean, that's like, I'm going, how did I have the nerve to do that? So she came and she said, she was really nice. She liked me. And she said, if you're in LA, write to me. So I did. And then she got me my SAG card and put me in Incredible Shrinking Woman. Is that great?
It's great. It's
I know.
fantastic.
She's so amazing. Do you know her?
I don't. I've met her once, just briefly. My friend was in Nashville with her.
Oh, she's so nice. And then when I was on Murphy Brown, because I did one of those.
You were the secretary.
The insane secretary.
Did you lock everyone out
yes,
on a balcony or something?
Yes, it was the best part because I was kind of freaking out. And she was on that too, So I saw her again. I've seen her again. Like I keep running into her. She came to a play I was in called Oklahoma that was in Burbank. It was really funny. And so I just seen her periodically. I wish I was like her best friend.
Well, I think there's this misconception that, you're in Hollywood or you're in a movie, you're all best friends.
I know.
You all go to parties together, you all hang out, and that's just not the case.
It's not the case at all. Not because you wouldn't want to.
Sure.
I mean, like Lily Tomlin's amazing. I would love to be her friend. But, I think people that's been famous as long as she has are a little bit guarded.
Sure. Right?
So she's not going to say, come on over, let's party, right?
And, at the end of the day, it's also kind of like, all right, I worked with you all day. I don't need to see you again.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But there are so many people that are wonderful that, you think in a different circumstance you would be buddies. Yeah. Like Patricia Heaton is really sweet and fun to hang out with, like on the set, like really fun.
Mm-hmm. You were on the middle for how many seasons?
Like 5.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was just really nice. I know her politics are so different, but as a person, she's really wonderful. Yeah. You don't know who's going to be nice. People don't match their character they play, their personality.
Well, this is a fun segue. Because actually, I worked on a TV show in the casting department. It was called Scare Tactics. And Shannon Doherty was our host.
Oh, wow.
The loveliest, nicest person for 2 years. She was so wonderful. When my mom and sister came out and visited, I said, my mom and sister meet? Of course. Let's take it. They have a picture. My mom has it framed at home.
Oh.
I know.
And so do you think her reputation for being bitchy on that set was completely undeserved? Or
not undeserved. I think she was a teenager experiencing hardcore stardom. Not just TV series, but the quintessential TV series of my generation.
I know, because you don't know, because that was the rumor about her. Yeah. I played her on The Edge.
I know, that's why I said the segue.
It was so funny. We did The Edge, and I got to play her.
One of my favorite moments, and I remember this, it is on YouTube, but I remember when it happened when you were on Jay Leno. And Jason Priestley was the guest who had come out before you. So he was sitting on the sofa. And you brought that up. And he seemed like he was a good sport.
He seemed so sweet. He seemed like super
you
sweet.
kind of like sat on his lap and made out with him, right?
Yeah. Kind of. He was really nice. But the thing that was funny about that, because when we're doing the satire of their show, because of her father, they actually tried to shut the show down for a minute.
You mean Tori's father?
Tori's father, yeah. Or they tried to. They didn't get to because they didn't like what we were saying about Tori. But I'm like, how humorless, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it wasn't like a big... She kept saying, I just got this job because my daddy runs a show or something like that. Yeah. And it's funny. It's not that, it's not awful.
Well, that's funny because you're a major component of your career has been sort of parodying and mocking.
Right.
And
pop culture,
it's always been this like very playful, fun approach. And you kind of came up in this era where people were having fun.
Yeah,
it's not really happening anymore.
I know. It's really different. Oh my God, right?
How, as a comedian, as an actress, are you faring in this politically correct sort of era that we live in now?
I feel like it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do, the Medusa satire, the satire of Madonna.
Yes.
I'm going to do a web series about her now, in her life now.
Okay.
And we're doing our GOGO campaign in like 2 weeks. Everybody can contribute to that.
Yes.
And so the thing is, like, I can make fun of her now because she's still here. She's still funny.
Yeah.
She still does, to me, really funny things. And I love her at the same time. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe I haven't gotten in trouble very much for doing parody.
I was going to ask you, because that came out in 92, right?
Yeah.
Dare to be
Truthful.
And I always got this sense. And I'm a huge Madonna fan.
Yeah, me too.
And I was back then, too, when it came out. And my friends in drama class, the theater kids, like, we loved her and we loved that. Nobody was offended. Nobody was like, who is this girl making fun of me? It was like, we loved you even more for it. I know. I've never gotten in trouble aside from the Tori Spelling thing, which is like, but that wasn't me. It was, aside from that, I think the showrunner was in trouble. I wasn't in trouble. We did a thing on the edge of, we did Wilson Phillips. Did you ever see that? Where I played Carney. I don't remember it. Okay, I played Carney. I love this. And he had me do it in a fat suit, and I felt really self-conscious about it. Because I love them too. So I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad. And Jennifer Aniston played China. So, no, it's pretty funny. You should look it up. Okay. And we're shooting a video. And I thought, they're going to be so mad. And then they called up and they said they loved it. And then China invited me to a party. And I met Carney. And I'm like, how do they love it? Like, why are they were really, I think a lot of people are good sports about it for some reason. Yeah. And I also think there's such an intelligence to what you do. And you can't, but you can't, I fake it. You can't do the kind of comedy you do and not be extremely cerebral and extremely intelligent. You just can't. Well, it's not a compliment, it's a fact. So there. It's a fact. Okay, you are somebody I would kill to be trapped with on an airplane. Oh my God. Because I could talk to you about so many of your credits, especially when it comes to classic television. I'm the biggest nerd. I'm going to just spout some off. Laverne and Shirley. 2 episodes, right? 2 episodes as 2 different characters. I know. I was played the secretary in the boxing show. The funny thing is, like, I was working with David Lander. Do you know David Lander? Plays Squiggy. And his daughter has become a really good friend of mine, and I cast her in Homecoming Queen. Oh my gosh, and she was in Bridesmaids at Rockwell. Yes, Natalie Lander. So which is really weird because he was like, I didn't get along with him that well on the set. He was like, he saw the character I was doing. He goes, I don't think you can do that character. And I was this little actress and I was horrified. And then I asked the producer, he goes, no, just do the character. So I don't know what David Lander was thinking. And he was just a cast member? He wasn't like producing or directing? No, he was just Squiggy. Ew. I know. So, and then the second time I was on, they didn't really talk. Okay. It was weird. Yeah. And you mean Laverne and Shirley? Yeah, Laverne and Shirley. And I was playing the potential new roommate of Laverne. Okay. I knew it wasn't going to be continued, but I was like hoping, but it didn't. But I came in as the new possible roommate. Oh, they told me ahead of time it was just a thing where I think they get back together. Can't even remember the storyline, but
it was really fun and really weird because they really weren't talking.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. And the
rough.
crew was like, it's weird, you know. So.
That was like season 8 or it was
Something.
later on in the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So is there any sort of starstruck element to you? Like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on Laverne Shirley. I'm like, I've got my sidecar now and I'm doing these like...
There probably was, but it wasn't so extreme because the thing I found that's so weird, because you are like, if you're sitting there looking at this person, you get kind of like, oh my God, it's them. I can't believe it. But when you, like, I noticed it when I did Newhart, because I mean, I was a huge fan of Newhart.
Another 2 episodes, right?
Yeah. When you're doing your character and you're acting with them, it's almost like you have a shield or you have something protective on you. So if you just really go do your character, you're not just you standing there with Bob Newhart. So that's the weird thing about it. So I think, like, if I ever had to act with Meryl Streep, it scares me as a concept, but I think I would just do my character, and then I look at her that way as my character, and then you're sort of safe, and you really become at that point you're equals because you have to be doing the stuff they need you to do, and you know what I mean. You're really doing this scene together. You're not like, oh, I'm in a scene with Meryl Streep. She gets to control the whole thing. It's not like that. So I'm waiting for that to happen.
It will.
I'm waiting. I'm ready. I'm prepared mentally.
It'll happen. I believe it. No, I really do. I believe that. I believe stuff like that happens. I can't wait to pull this clip out after you have and be like, she said it.
I wanted to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a funny, well, that's not funny at all, but you were on the Jeffersons.
Yes.
And do you know who was on your episode?
No.
You don't? Oh,
wait, maybe I do. Who was it?
Lana Clarkson, who Phil Spector murdered.
Are you kidding me?
No.
What did she play on it?
Her name, I think, was Sophia. She's in your scene.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
Season 9 or 10. I know. You didn't know that?
No. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. No, I was playing like this punk. I had colored braids in my hair. And, you know, I was just this belligerent girl. It was really weird shooting because George Jefferson, what's his name? Oh, Sherman Hemsley. Yeah. He did a lot of drugs. He couldn't say more than a couple lines without stopping. He's still really funny, but I was like, wow, this is really how we're shooting this. We're shooting it like a couple lines at a time. And the audience was there. So, I mean, I still had a lot of fun, but I was like, you just go, wow, that's how this is working, right?
It's like just one of those little things.
It's one of those things, yeah.
Takes the fantasy show business world to reality.
Now I have to go look at this, though. I'm just flabbergasted.
Do you have a preference for television or film? I mean,
no, they don't seem, especially now, they don't seem that different.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I think I really did like television because I loved when, you know, there was an audience, but like, there's not that many shows with an audience now.
No.
I worked on Melissa and Joey. I was a punch-up writer, and that was multi-camera.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on every episode, and it was really fun because you'd do like punch-up things after the run-through on Monday, and then on Thursday when they'd shoot the show, you'd go in and you'd make up jokes on the set, like you're standing on the set making up jokes, and then the producer would run in and give it to them, and they'd try it. And that was a really fun experience. Mm-hmm. It's so like, oh my God, we're just making a show.
Yeah,
so,
I love that chaotic energy.
Yeah, it was really fun. I love that.
Well, you were in Clueless, the movie, and the TV show.
Yes, exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
The movie was really, really fun. It was very hard, though, when I showed up on the set. Like, these girls were so beautiful. I sit down in the makeup chair and they go, you don't really get any makeup. Like, you're the lesbian gym teacher. You put base on you. And I'm like, these girls were like so gorgeous. They'd just been made up. So when we finally did the TV show, I did insist on more makeup because I just was like, I can't go out there with just nothing.
Yeah.
But the movie was really strange because Alicia Silverstone, I've never had this experience as I did with her. When you're in a scene with her, you feel like she's doing nothing, like nothing. And you're going, oh my God, what's this going to look like? And then when I saw the movie, Amy Heckerling had me come to a screening before it was out. And I'm like, she's incredible. She's so translates and is so natural. I mean, she really was that character. And it was real effortless. But it seems like she's doing nothing when you're in the scene with her. I never have had experience like that. I thought it was going to be terrible.
Really?
Isn't that weird? Yeah. Because usually
tough.
you can kind of see what the other person's doing, even though you're acting together. She's like really different.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I liked her though. She's really nice.
Oh,
She's
that's
a really
cool.
sweet girl, yeah. But the TV show was fun. I liked it.
Did you direct?
Yeah, I directed one. I got in the DGA on that. Isn't that amazing?
No, that's major. Like,
I know. It was pretty cool.
did you have long-time aspirations to direct? Or
Yeah,
did it
I
just
did.
kind
I still do. But the thing I learned about directing is that it's really hard. Not just that. It's that you have to be on for like 14 hours.
Mhm.
And every person on the set can run up to you and ask you a mindless question. Like that's 14 hours of people going, do you like this barrette or this barrette? Who cares, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I did it more and I want to do it more, but I kind of knew I did that, and I directed Strip Mall, and I directed one of my Showtime things. And then I went, I don't know if this is something I'm going to do consistently.
When you say one of those Showtime things you directed,
Yeah.
you're talking about Medusa. You directed that.
Yeah,
You had to
and-
star in it and direct.
I know, and the Tanya Harding thing.
That's
And that was like,
right.
so I was skating on ice and directing. I mean, maybe that's why I said, I can't do this. I can't do this as a career.
hard.
It's really hard. It's
hard.
very hard. But like, I'm going to direct some of the new Medusas.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what's that gonna be?
Well, we decided, it's like, we're going to do, I wrote them with Kurt Kohler, who's my writing partner now. And we're going to do like 6 episodes, like as a web series. And then try to make it be bigger, expand it beyond that. But that's what we're going to do initially. So we've written those, and we did a reading of them, and I thought it was super funny. I'm really excited because it's like, it's Medusa, Madonna now in her
Okay.
life, like with her gay assistants, trying to get ready for, her tour, her life, like how her life is nuts. Right? And she's so funny to me as a character. When the sort of fictional version, I don't know her. Someone who's that self-involved, has been famous since they were 24. She's a funny character, right? Like just the way she is and the stuff you hear about her.
Oh yeah, I can't have you on without at least talking about Bloody Birthday, because
Oh my
the
God.
horror fans out there, talk about a intense group of people, man.
I know. I went to the horror con.
Oh no.
Or pop culture horror con. I just didn't know there were horror fans. And it was amazing to me. Because I like horror movies, but I've never been obsessed or really
Sure.
like super into it. And then I did that when that was one of my first jobs. And it was so weird because I have a topless scene in it.
Oh, you do?
Oh, you've never seen it?
Well, a long
Oh my
time ago,
God.
but me,
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna remember anyone's topless
Yeah.
scenes.
Well, it's
I mean,
pretty
sure,
memorable.
sure.
It's pretty memorable. But I thought, okay, it's so kind of
Oh.
embarrassing, but then I thought, I'm going to make this funny. So the point is, I'm dancing around, I take my bra off, I get killed by my little brother who's evil, shoots an arrow in my eye. So there's like a hole in the closet, and I see it, and I look in there, and then they go like, they shoot me, right, with an arrow. So gross. But up until that point when I'm dancing around, I thought, okay, I started eating Oreo cookies so that my teeth were black. So I thought, I'm going to make this funny instead of just being like salacious. So it's probably both, I guess.
Yeah.
And I've never told my son about this. Never. I know.
Hope he's watching.
I know. He's just like,
How
he's
old is he?
26 now.
I'm picturing this 8-year-old son,
No,
who's
no.
not ready to learn about Bloody Birthday, and you're like, he's 30 almost.
But he's like been funny. He's never been like, I need to see all your work ever. I think he's like, it's better. I'm better as a mom than
Fascinating.
any kind of pop person.
Wow.
And then his friends will find out who I am, and they'll go, "That's your mom." He's like, "Yeah." He just doesn't make a thing out of it. I took him with me when we did Camp Rock because I thought he was 14 at the time, and I thought, oh, this will be fun. It's a Disney movie. He'll love it. He'll be excited. So he comes out and like the Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, and he's like, okay, great. And he's like, can I go back in the trailer and play video games? And I went, I missed it. I like him being excited to be on a set. It was past it. And also I went, if it was a girl or my gay son, he would have been excited.
Yeah, right?
Because the Jonas Brothers are so cute. But they were so cute.
Yeah.
But he just was like,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has never been excited about show business ever.
That must be like kind of exciting for you,
It
right?
is, it's both. Because I'm like, I don't want to turn out a little actor. But when he was like a little baby, he'd be in that swing. and I'd sing to him. And I remember this. I'd go, "The homecoming queen," and he'd go, "No, no, 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 no." He would stop me. He did not want me to sing to him.
Oh,
isn't that
wow,
funny?
That is.
And I think it's because he didn't want me to change the character. That's what I think of Mom. Like, Mom. He didn't want me to be, he's not entertained by the wigs and the whole thing. It's like, isn't that funny?
There's something endearing about that.
I think it's super sweet.
That's very sweet.
It's super sweet, and he never wanted to perform, and he's awesome. He's so awesome. But I think I did a good job with him because he doesn't want to just, be an actor, right? Yeah. He works in the governor's office.
I love it.
So he's very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of homecoming queens, you hear that song, and someone like me was just like, who is this? I need to know. I repeat,
right.
endless playing, the comedy of it. How did it come about? Music and
that came
those
about.
songs?
That's always been kind of my sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And I was at acting school with Charlie Coffey, who became my writing partner, and he's gay. So, and then we were in San Francisco. So my initial comedy, I think, was just very influenced by gay culture, and pop culture. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that way, right? So when I start performing, I had gay people would come to my show when I was like 20. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, I wonder why they're here. I didn't get that, I was just doing what's funny to me.
Sure.
And now I understand that gay audiences have a superior sense of humor. They do, because they understand pop culture references or just even intellectual references. Gay audience, you can make references to almost anything, and they will get it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's how that all came about. Oh, well, the way Homecoming Queen and all that came about was I came down here from San Francisco, and I'm like, how do I get noticed? How do I get attention? What do I do? I'm just this actress. And I thought, maybe I should just do music, because we had music in our act. So I was freaking out for about 6 months, and suddenly that song just came to me. Like, it came to me. So Charlie we sat down and wrote it, and then we wrote, because I'm a blonde, we just started writing comedy songs. And then I did an album. Mm-hmm. And then that became like, kind of cult hits in different cities. Yeah. And I Like 'Em Big and Stupid. Yeah. They were just our sense of humor. And then also on that album was Earth Girls Are Easy. Yes. Which is a song. Okay. And the song has sort of the premise of the movie in it. So what happened was the album was out, and then I got a call from Warner Brothers, and they said, these songs are so theatrical. Do you have any movie ideas? And I'm like, well, yes, I do. And I pitched them Earth Girls, and they bought it like in the room, which never happens. And they go, and you can, be the star of it. And so we wrote it, and then those songs went in Earth Girls. So it was a really, like, you can't tell anybody that's how to get in show business. It's completely weird, but it's what worked for me. It was like putting my sense of humor out there. People did notice it, right? But it's a lot of work too, also to market an album and put it out there. So I was kind of lucky too.
Especially in a time where, nowadays you can make music in your bedroom.
Yes,
Billie
exactly.
Eilish, who
exactly.
is, winning every Grammy.
I know, right? In her bedroom. Doesn't she not leave her bedroom or something?
You have this, like, your career kind of has this, like, internet feel to it.
Yeah.
That existed at a time when there was no such thing as the internet.
I would have gone insane if there was the internet. I think that, like, what I could have done with that, when I was doing like MTV and stuff. If MTV was connected to that. But in a way, it might have been like I put so much energy into all the stuff I was doing because there was no other way to get it out there. I almost like willed myself onto MTV, because there was no internet. There was no way to get out there. When we made the video for Homecoming Queen, we wrote it and we didn't have the money for it. And this guy contacted us and said, I'll pay for it if you let me be the director. And I said, well, you can be the director if you shoot exactly what we wrote. So we had storyboarded the whole thing, and he just wanted the credit. So he said, sure. And he gave us $40,000. Isn't that insane?
Wow.
I know. And I'm like, okay, all right.
And he directed it?
His name's on it, but the DP essentially did it with the shooting script that we wrote. Like, they did it exactly shot by shot.
It wouldn't happen today.
No, it might not. But the thing is, I like tell this to all my little actor friends, that you have to make stuff. You have to put your point of view out there. Because if you just wait, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to write Homecoming Queen's got a gun for you and say, here, you should do this. And I just tell them, you got to make stuff. So they kind of are.
Here, yeah.
Right? This is what you're doing.
Exactly what this is.
Exactly.
I waited forever for someone to offer me a show.
Exactly.
It didn't happen.
No, and here you have a show. And if someone wants to see it and they go, oh, he's really good at this, we can give him a show on this channel. And that could easily happen, right? Right?
From your lips
I know,
to the universe's ears.
I'm going to pray for you.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so sweet. I know you're joking, but that's the sweetest thing in the
really.
world.
I'm not. Yeah.
Well, when I get that show, I'm going to need someone to come write the music for it.
Okay.
And act on it.
I will do it.
I will
do it.
Well, you've been on Conan, you've been on Letterman, you've been on Leno. I mean, you've done the major talk shows.
I've done a lot
You're
of stuff.
You're a great guest. You are a great guest.
Thank you.
Fun to watch and fun to talk to.
Those things are scary, though, shows.
Are they?
I would say there's kind of nothing scarier. I would say Letterman is maybe the scariest thing I've ever done. Because I talk about being stage struck. Like, I was such a giant fan of David Letterman's. From the time he had a morning show on, I would get up in the morning and watch his show because it was so cutting edge. And so they did an interview about me, and it was in Rolling Stone. And I said, I love David Letterman's show. I think it's so brilliant. And so then the producer of that called me and said, do you want to be on the show? And I'm like, okay. And at the time, I don't know if they do this with every talk show, but they would go over and over what you were going to say. Like it was a stand-up routine. Wow. And they'd make you rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it. It's just so scary. It's like your show business, finals or something.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
That's intimidating.
It was very intimidating. I remember I saw Janine Garofalo, who I love. She was on with Letterman once, and she suddenly went, I can't do that material. Like, she called it, said, you know what I mean? She called it out that she had material she was supposed to do. And it was a very weird interview. Wow. I know. And I felt really bad for her because I knew exactly what she was saying. And I mean, she's wonderful. So I felt so bad for her. But I know how that works. Yeah. So those are hard.
Well, speaking of Earth Girls Are Easy,
yeah.
I mean...
I know, I was so certain that was going to get made. I mean, I was really certain. I was just like, no.
You just knew.
I just did.
You knew.
Yeah, and even when, Warner Brothers dropped it at one point, then it got picked up by Dino De Laurentiis, and then somebody else distributed it. But I just always knew that it would become a movie, which, I mean, sometimes I think when you're young, you have this blind faith. Mm-hmm. You really don't know what can go wrong. So you go, of course they're going to make this movie. It's wonderful. They're going to make it. So, I mean, now I have in my head everything that can go wrong when you're making something. But then I didn't. I just was like, it's going to happen.
God, how fun and innocent.
I know. Wish I could be like that.
How hands-on were you in casting? Were you?
I had approvals. I kind of had to go along with stuff. But I technically had approvals. I was supposed to do Gina's part. Do you know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. That's how the contract was. And that's what I was planning.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. Then what happened, when it got closer to the end, we attached Julian Temple as a director. Mm-hmm. Then the budget got high enough where Warner Brothers said to me, well, we don't know if you can star in it because the contract read that I had to. Okay. So they gave me this freaking screen test, which was completely bogus. They just wanted to give it to me so they could go, you can't star in it. And it was so, I kind of knew that was happening. Wow. And this is one thing, I don't know if I've ever told anybody this, the makeup man, they had professional people shooting the screen test. The makeup man had worked on The Wizard of Oz. He was ancient. And he actually plucked my eyebrows and made me bleed. And I'm like, oh my God. So I went through this whole thing, and then they said, well, you can't star in it. The contract read that they couldn't make it without me. So my manager said, what do you want to do? And I said, I'll rewrite the secondary part, because it was a guy, for myself. It was her gay friend. I mean, we were trying to put a gay man in a movie, and then, I know, but then that was the only option I had. So I rewrote it, and I really like my part now, but at the time, it was very traumatic. Because I didn't know what could go wrong, right? I didn't know that could even happen. So then when they wanted to bring Gina on, I did have approval about that. And I was like, they brought Gina and Jeff Goldblum together. So I kind of had to say yes.
Because I think they were dating,
They
right?
were, and then they got married, yeah. They were dating during this movie. It was weird. Because they were making out all
Ew,
the time. I know.
No. Ugh.
Should I have not said that?
Ugh.
Yeah, they were making out all the time. It was like, so, like before action, like making out, action, okay, and then they do it.
That seems like such an 80s thing to do. It's just
was.
like making out all the time.
It was
on
just
set.
horrifying. And it made me angry because I'm like, they're not taking this seriously. This is, this movie's serious and, you just didn't know what could happen.
What about Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey? Were they taking it seriously? Were they making out?
No, they weren't making out. But it was like, it was kind of their first movie or their second movie. And this is what happened. Jeff Goldblum was teaching acting at that point. So those two who hadn't worked that much were listening to everything Jeff Goldblum said. And he would tell them what to do. So he had this theory that you should distract yourself before the take by making out or something. And sometimes he would just read from a book as loud as he could. So they would make as much noise as they could before the take. And then they go, action. And I'm like, I can't even concentrate. These idiots are just yelling and screaming. So that was his theory of acting that he was giving them. Probably doesn't do anything like that now. But so they were kind of just being in character all the time, which are, idiot aliens. So it wasn't that easy to work with them.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. It was like, oh my God. Even though I think they're all really talented. I really do.
I was going to say, is there something that when a movie comes out and when it becomes successful and you love it, that all of maybe those antics kind of dissipate?
It does. Yeah. But it took a long time because there's things in it that, there's moments in the way I saw it in my head that didn't match. And so it's frustrating. But now I don't really see it like that. It is what it is. So that's how I feel now. And I don't have a lot of emotion about how it's not right. I just don't. Yeah. So thank God.
I see Angeline probably more in this town than I see any human being, and I think of it every single time. And I feel like it's this like blessed moment. I'm like, today's gonna be a great day.
I know.
Especially when I see her at a gas station.
I know.
I'm like,
isn't that funny?
I'm in the mood.
I know. She's like a groundhog.
Do you see her?
Yes, I see her.
She has to know. You have to know each other.
Yes, I do know her, and I've been to parties where she showed up. And I was shooting a video one night when she drove up, and I'm like, oh my God. But I see her, and I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, Angeline. I've written on Twitter about it. It does seem like, it's a special sighting, like a whale watching or something.
Pink whale watching. Only people in LA understand that.
I know. You can't, because the reason she's in the movie is Julia Temple came from, England and saw her billboards everywhere. And he's like, what's this? This is the thing, a phenomenon. I remember him even, the fact that he was so interested, I'm like, that's so stupid. I remember that's what I thought at the time. Yeah. So stupid. You don't want to just put her in the movie. But now I get it. It was a LA icon and I get it, So that's what she's all about in the movie. I didn't write her in. But I'm happy she's in it now.
Yeah. She's an interesting one.
She's a very interesting one. Her voice is like this.
Yeah.
I know, the baby voice.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Well, sadly we've come to the end of my show.
Oh no.
And I like to end my show with a silly, stupid little thing.
Okay.
You'll get it right off the bat. Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Iced coffee. I drank iced coffee from the time I was in high school before anybody drank iced coffee.
Me too. Isn't it right here? Oh no, it's in the kitchen. Mine too.
I feel like I was a pioneer.
I do iced coffee even in the dead of winter.
Me too.
Look at this. Laverne or Shirley?
Shirley.
Okay.
She was on a strip mall and I got to really know her, and she's like a doll. And I just didn't get to know Laverne that well.
Okay. 80s LA or 90s LA?
80s.
Palm reading or tarot cards?
Tarot cards.
Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day?
Valentine's Day.
Why are you laughing?
I don't drink, so I guess it's a holiday that I just don't even participate in.
All right. Scarlett Johansson or Michelle Williams?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
It's very hard. And they're both watching, so choose wisely.
Okay, maybe Michelle Williams.
Palm Springs or Las Vegas?
Palm Springs.
Interesting, okay.
I hate Las Vegas.
Oh, fair enough. Thai food or Mexican?
Mexican.
Hairy men or clean shaven?
That's really hard. I can't even pick. I can't pick. Because it depends on the guy and the way his hair looks.
Okay.
And, my ex-husband for a while had a beard and he looked so hot. And I'm like, I don't know.
Nick Jonas or Harry Styles?
Nick Jonas. I know Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas taught me where the bright button is on my computer when we were doing Camp Rock. I was like, well, I don't know how to work this. And he says, right here. I know. He was sexy then. He was like a kid. He was a kid.
Cake or donuts?
Cake.
Massage or facials?
Massage, for sure.
Okay. Dr. Pepper or root beer?
I guess Dr. Pepper.
Okay. Wrestlers or boxers?
Ooh. Wrestlers?
Hip hop or country?
Hip hop.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a hard one. Laura Dern, Laura Linney?
Laura Dern. I love Laura Dern so much. I love they're both wonderful.
They're both great.
It's hard to pick.
Yeah.
Laura Dern, I'm sorry. In Big Little Lies, amazing.
Renata.
Right? Amazing.
Movies at home, movies at the cinema.
Movies at home.
Okay. Texting or talking on the phone?
Texting.
I am so there with you.
Talk is hard now. I mean,
it.
you know, it's funny because like that's all we had
Yeah.
before, but now I'm like, it's so hard.
Like a Prayer or Vogue?
Both.
Friends or Will and Grace?
Will and Grace.
Brad or Leo?
Brad.
Thin crust or thick crust?
Thin. You're getting easier.
Spain or France?
I haven't been to Spain. I really want to, but I guess I've been to France and I loved it, so I'm gonna say France.
Family Guy or South Park?
South Park.
B. Arthur Maud or B. Arthur Golden Girls?
Oh man.
That's like my Sophie's
Possible. I guess Golden Girls.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Last but not least, Stevie Nicks or Stevie Wonder?
Stevie Nicks, always. I adore her.
My favorite. She's my Madonna.
Yeah, she is, right?
She's my favorite. She's my number one. And then they all fall after
I
her.
know. I think she's my favorite too, honestly.
I love her
so much. I did her on MTV. I was like twirling around.
You've got a flowy little vibe today.
Flow vibe, I know. And I'm studying to be a witch.
Yes.
I am. I took a witchcraft class.
Nice.
So, all because of Stevie Nicks.
Well, perfect. I hope you continue to cast spells.
I will.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming
Oh,
on this
thank you. It was
show.
fun.
Really, I mean, you have just given me years and years of entertainment.
Okay,
and joy.
Thank you.
I really, I can't wait to see what you do next. Where can people find you?
They can go to juliebrown.com as the merchandise. But the bigger thing is Medusa, which is, I'm not sure how the URL's going to be, but it's on Indiegogo after March 1st. So I guess if you just write Medusa, you'll probably find it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Instagram is Miss Julie Brown, and Twitter is Miss Julie Brown, and YouTube.
Let me ask you, what's one thing that you think you got as a person from show business that you would not have gotten from any other career?
Satisfaction. Because if I had not done this, I would be a crazy person.
Wow.
So it's like, or fulfillment, those things, those feelings. I don't think I could have lasted if I didn't do it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for letting people like me who are trying to make something happen.
Yeah,
and helping
you're
out.
great. You should be doing this.
Well, thank you.
On NBC.
That's so I love how specific. Thank you
specifically.
Yes, and thank you so much to NBC for giving me a show. Thank you guys. Please subscribe.
Nice going, NBC.
I love it. Oh my gosh.